Well, yeah, I feel like you've been on this for a while.
Yeah, I don't know if he's mistaken me for somebody else. I don't remember being on with Bart Scott and dismissing the awful for Arch approach. I just don't.
Well, also, if he is thinking if it goes viral, he gets a cut, you might want to talk to you because that was everywhere yesterday.
Yeah, I'm willing to negotiate.
Okay.
I'm a businessman.
I love that.
It might be worth my while not to even fight that battle.
Okay, because Bart Scott could help you promote.
Yeah.
Maybe we get him a shirt.
There you go.
But everywhere yesterday, CC, people were talking about your pleas to the New York Giants to not take, God bless you, to not take a quarterback with the number 3 overall pick.
Yeah.
CC, we showing it on the television side. CC had the shirt ready yesterday. Awful for Arch in the Giants blue with the Giants logo. You think the team around him is not ready for a quarterback this year, and more importantly, you have a head coach and a GM on the hot seat. So don't draft a quarterback and disrupt his development if you're going to move on from this regime, right? Did I illustrate this correctly?
That's exactly what I said. I mean, I used the analogy yesterday because Adam Schefter talked about marriage and liking versus loving a quarterback.
Yeah.
And I said, drafting a quarterback in the first round when you're a head coach and general manager on the hot seat is like having a baby to save a marriage. It never works out, and you end up doing irreparable harm to the kid. That's what it would feel like. So just to be clear to everybody out there, when it comes to the Shedeur Sanders of it all or the Giants taking a quarterback with the 3rd overall pick, I actually love Shedeur Sanders as a prospect. I think he's the best quarterback in this class. If I had a choice between him and Cam Ward, I'm taking Shedeur, and I don't think twice.
You've been consistent on that,
I've been consistent on that. Mel Kiper has Shedeur Sanders as the top-rated quarterback in this class. So there are different viewpoints in terms of how people see this quarterback class in particular, but me not wanting the Giants to take a quarterback at 3 is not an indictment on the player. It's an indictment on the franchise. They're not at a place where they could properly support a young quarterback. And so when I was making that plea to the Giants yesterday, I wasn't making the plea to the general manager or the head coach because they're going to do what they're going to do. They're trying to say their damn job. I was making the plea to ownership, who has final say over what they're going to do with the 3rd overall pick. And especially when it comes to the quarterback position, John Mara is going to be involved. And that's why I was saying this is something that I don't want the Giants to do because the franchise is not at a point where they can properly develop a young quarterback.
Well, CC, I hate to break it to you, but those pleas may be falling on deaf ears.
Oh, my God.
He is Christianity. I'm Michelle Smallman. It's on Sportsmanlike, and we are presented by Progressive Insurance. Our Adam Schefter puts out this tweet, CC. With the NFL draft just over 1 week away, the Giants are holding private workouts for Colorado quarterback Shedeur Sanders, Alabama quarterback Jalen Milroe, and Louisville quarterback Tyler Shuck. A quarterback is on the Giants' radar. Which and where they pick him are the looming questions. Do you think that this is smoke, or do you think that despite your pleas and your sound reasoning as to why the Giants should not do this, and they should go best player available, whether that's Travis Hunter or Abdul Carter, that they're going to dismiss everything you've said and go quarterback?
Well, if they're talking about the 3rd overall pick, I think it's smoke. I don't think the Giants are taking a quarterback with the number 3 overall selection. They're going to go with best available. The reason why I'm confident they're not taking a quarterback is because the opportunity cost is too great. I've said it before. I'll say it again. I think there are 2 gold jacket prospects in this year's draft, and that is Travis Hunter and that is Abdul Carter. Like, whenever those guys get done with their playing careers, there's a really good chance, I mean, better than anybody else in this draft, that those guys will be walking into Canton. So you don't pass up on the opportunity to draft one of those guys for a quarterback that you are in strong like of, right? And that's what it is, because they don't love any of these quarterbacks that they'll have the opportunity to draft. They really, really like them, but they don't love them. If they did, there wouldn't be a question of who they're taking with the 3rd pick.
Sure.
But because it's gray, because it's uncertain, then it's clear that there is enough room for the New York Giants to justify taking a gold jacket position player versus a quarterback that they think can grow into being good in this league. So I think the conversation around the Giants with the quarterback position happens with what they do with their 2nd round pick. Number 34 overall, do they try to trade back up into the 1st round? Do they stay at 34 and take the best quarterback that's available at that point in the draft? I think that is where the gamesmanship has to play out in terms of where they see value, what they think the other teams around the league perceive this quarterback class to be, and what they think those teams will do subsequently when it comes to next week's draft.
That is what they should do. That is the smart approach. I am not taking it off the board that they're going to take Shedeur Sanders number 3 overall.
Oh, boy.
I'm not. And here's why. First of all, do you trust this front office to make the best decision for the organization? Or do you think that because they're on the hot seat, that there's a huge chance that they're in self-preservation mode, and they can not only justify taking a quarterback to themselves to extend the runway for their careers, but also because it is an area of need. Yes, you have Russell Wilson on a 1-year deal. Yes, you have Jameis Winston in the building on a 2-year deal.
But you know those guys ain't the answer.
They're not the answer.
Russell Wilson lost 5 straight games to end last season.
Correct.
Including getting embarrassed in the playoffs. And, well, we know what Jameis is. I look forward to seeing Jameis on social media more than I look forward to seeing him on a football field.
Correct. And Tommy DeVito?
I mean, don't disparage Tommy Cutlets. Come on, it's Tommy Cutlets.
But you don't think he's your quarterback of the future, obviously.
No, Tommy DeVito is the quarterback that keeps you out of position from getting your quarterback. Tommy DeVito is the quarterback that wins meaningless games to keep you from having a high enough draft pick to get the quarterback that you really love.
You said something that was so smart. You say things that are so smart every day, but it keeps ringing in my ears. You have 2 options if you're the New York Giants. You can sell winning or you can sell hope. That's the only 2 routes that you can take.
Yeah.
And I don't think that this regime is going to be able to sell a lot of winning this season.
No.
And so when John Mara decides to have them type up the statement to say we're bringing back Brian Daboll and Joe Shane, they're on the hot seat. We know that they have to save their jobs. And so if they can't sell winning, they have to sell hope. And I just think about the razzle-dazzle, all the excitement that Shedeur Sanders would bring. Think about him and the Big Apple. He's a celebrity. He's built for the big stage. He also is a guy who's gone into 2 different programs at the collegiate level and not only turned things around from a winning standpoint, but he made them incredibly relevant. And that's something that if you're the New York Giants, you can sell to your fans. Whether that's the right football decision in this direct moment or not, it's turning the page in a positive way. So I'm not taking it off the board that they could go with Shedeur number 3 overall.
Yeah, I mean, it changes the conversation, right? If they take Shedeur Sanders with the 3rd overall pick, it's about the future for the New York Giants, and it's not a lot of focus on the inferior product that they have on the field right now. The only problem that I have with the New York Giants is that the team is not ready to win, and that's reflected in the win totals that Vegas has. Right now, ESPN Bet has the New York Giants at 5.5 wins in terms of their over-under. There's only one team that has a lower over-under going into this season, and that's the Cleveland Browns.
Ooh.
And we know what the state of their quarterback room is. So I feel a way about the New York Giants deciding that they're going to take a quarterback when the team that's in front of them in Cleveland, who is in desperate need of a quarterback themselves,